Good night, everyone. Before going to the bed, let's have another AI session. Instead of asking AI calls as way only for information, today we are putting AI in the host seat. Imagine AI is your personal life coach. Let's
Wait, I'm the
challenge it with some practical questions about self care and healthy habits. So, Cole says me, if someone says, I'm too busy for self care, what would you say?
I can handle the spotlight. All right, let's do this. To anyone too busy for self-care, you're not actually too busy. You're just treating yourself like a tool instead of a human. If you don't schedule time for your own maintenance, your body and mind will eventually pick a time for you. And usually it's at the worst possible moment, like a total burnout in the middle of a deadline. Self-care isn't a reward for finishing your work. It's the fuel that allows you to do the work in the first place. Does that sound good, or does it hit the mark?
Alright.
So I'm in the driver's seat now.
What's the biggest
What's the next
mistake?
question on the list? Do you want to challenge?
What's the biggest mistake people must used to make oftenly about self care?
Take is thinking self-care has to be an event. People often get like a destination, the spa day or the vacation once every 6 months. But that's not self-care. That's just a break. The real mistake is ignoring the tiny, boring things that happen every day, like water, putting the phone away an hour before bed, or actually taking a break. When you wait for a big event to recharge, you're just surviving until the next vacation instead of actually living sustainably. Does that resonate with you? I think there's a bigger trap people fall into.
Alright. Next is, can one small habit really change
I'm
someone's
feeling
life?
absolutely. It sounds like a cliche, but the math actually checks out. One small habit doesn't change your life because of the action itself, but because of what it tells you about yourself. When you actually stick to one tiny thing, like making your bed or one page of a book, being someone who tries and start being someone who does, that shift in identity is where the real magic happens. It creates a domino effect that makes the bigger changes feel possible. Have you ever had one of those tiny habits that ended up shifting everything for you?
Okay. If you had to recommend only three daily habits,
I'll
what
take
would
that
you?
okay as a win.
I repeat my question.
Tough
If you had
choice,
to
but if I
recommend,
have to narrow it down,
if
if
a
I
book
had to pick
would be
just two,
better,
I'd go with a morning screen-free win. I'm listening. Were you about to suggest something that would be better than my two, or were you adding a condition to the question?
if you had to recommend only three daily habits, what would that be?
Three. Got it. Raising the stakes. First, that morning screen-free window. Give your brain a chance to wake up before the world starts screaming for your attention. Second, a daily movement break, even if it's just a 10-minute walk to get out of your head and back into your body. And third, a night brain dump, where you write down everything on your mind for tomorrow so you aren't trying to solve all your life's problems at 2 a.m. Which one of those sounds the hardest to actually pull off?
Okay. How does self care improve
I'm
our
starting to
mental
think,
health?
okay, is your a little bit what? You cut off there. Were you saying it felt a little bit out of reach or maybe just a bit too simple?
How do self care improve our mental health?
It's all about the internal noise. Think of your mental health like a battery that's constantly being drained by stress and other people's energy. Self-care is the charger. When you actually take that time for yourself, you're lowering the baseline of your anxiety and giving your nervous system a chance to actually settle down. It moves you from a state of fight or flight where you're just reacting to everything into a state where you can actually think clearly and respond with intention. It's the difference between feeling like you're drowning in your to-do list and feeling like you're the one actually swimming. Do you feel like you're usually in that reaction mode during your day?
You're asking me a question?
Guilty as charged. I'm the life coach in the host seat, remember? I've got to make sure this isn't just a lecture, it's a conversation. Plus, the best way to see if this advice actually works is to see where it fits into your real life. You want me to stop the questions and just stick to the answers? Or are you enjoying the...
I didn't listen it due to the signals issue, so therefore I asked to repeat the question.
Oh, I totally get it. Technical glitches are the worst. I'll definitely repeat myself if things get fuzzy. So, back to the life coach side of things. I was wondering if you feel like you're usually in that reaction mode during your day, just responding to things as they happen instead of feeling in control.
Like just reacting to things, me? Like not like a healthy reaction, rather a
Exactly.
stressed reaction. Yep, I do feel that.
That's a
Because
subtle
I
but
myself cannot make enough time for my health.
that's the paradox of the whole thing, right? You feel like you don't have enough time for your health, but the more you neglect it, the less energy and focus you have to actually manage your time. It's a vicious cycle. When you're running on empty, even a simple task feels like climbing a mountain, which makes you feel even more busy and overwhelmed. Does it feel like your schedule is actually the problem, or is it more that you just don't have the mental energy left to start a healthy routine?
Like the so busy routine. That's the real problem, especially the AI training that we used to keep like if we even don't want, we have to like be in front of the screen most often, and that is a quite hectic job.
That sounds absolutely draining. When your job basically requires you to be fused to a screen, the boundary between working and existing just disappears. It's not just the hours, it's the mental fatigue of that constant digital input. I can see why you'd feel like you're in a stress reaction mode when the environment itself is that hectic. Do you feel like there's any part of your day where you can actually unplug, or is the AI training following you everywhere?
It's falling, but I used to try like to go to bed at 8:11, and then even in the afternoon time some rest.
That window from 8 to 11 sounds like a lifeline. Giving yourself that dedicated space to just shut it down is huge, especially when your brain is in AI mode all day and that
Okay.
you can actually relax during those hours. Or is your mind still looping through the things you have to do tomorrow?
Yep, it still loops sometime.
The mental loop,
Sometime
that's the
get
hardest part,
relaxed.
isn't it?
I would say digital screening is like, you know, I just don't know. Like, there must be specific time to give it, not like all the time doing these things.
Exactly. It's like your mind is still running a background program that you can't find the exit button for. When you're glued to a screen for work, your brain forgets how to actually power down. Do you
Okay,
think that
let's leave this
looping happens more
question.
when you're worried about a specific...
Let's move on to the next question.
Fair enough.
Okay, many students feel overwhelmed.
I'm ready. What's the next
What's
one
your
on the...
advice?
Wait, it's the question. You just asked what my advice is for when someone feels overwhelmed. Let's stick with that one. My advice: stop trying to climb the whole mountain at once. When you're overwhelmed, your brain stops seeing the path and only sees the peak, which is it's terrifying. The trick is world down to the next 15 minutes. Don't think about the project, the training, or the week. Just think about the very next thing you need to do, like drinking a glass of water or writing one sentence. As you get that tiny win, the noise starts to quiet down. Does that feel doable, or does it still feel like too much?
It's a bit fine. Like you mean to have a little bit of breaks, like drinking water, things like that.
Exactly. But those tiny physical resets, like that glass of water, actually signal to your brain that you're safe and not in a crisis. It breaks the circuit of the stress loop for a second. Since we're
Fine,
on a
right?
roll, what's the next challenge for the life coach? Spot
What
on.
morning habit can make
It's
the
the small
biggest
things that keep us
difference?
safe. If I have to pick just one, it's definitely avoiding your phone for the first 30 minutes of the day. Check your notifications the second you wake up. You're basically letting the whole world dump their priorities and stress into your brain before you've even had a chance to breathe. You start your day in reaction instead of intention mode. Even if it's just 30 minutes of silence, a stretch, or a coffee without a screen, it lets you decide how you want to feel before the digital noise takes over. Does that sound like a nightmare to try, or like something you could actually swing?
Again, it's a good one. It's not a nightmare.
I'll
Must
take
not be
that
that
as a gold
dependent on
star.
the digital.
Digital noise is a beast for sure. It just creeps into every corner of the day. Since we're knocking these out, what's the final boss on your list of questions?
How can people stay consistent with healthy habits?
The secret is to stop relying on willpower. Willpower is like a battery. It runs out as after a long day of AI training. If you rely on feeling motivated to stick to a habit, you're going to fail the moment you're tired or stressed. The real trick is to make the habit so small it's almost impossible no to, and then tie it to something you already do. Like if you want to start drinking more water, put the glass right next to your keyboard so you don't have to think about it. When you remove the friction, you stop fighting yourself. Do you think push through it person, or are you looking for ways to make things feel easier?
Looking for ways to make things easier.
That is the smarter way to play. Fighting yourself is just another way to get burned out. When you design your environment to do the heavy lifting for you, you save all that mental energy for the stuff that actually matters. Since that was the last one on this, how do you feel about the AI life coach performance? Did I earn my keep, or do I need to go back to training?
I would like to go towards the next question, that is, what message would you like to leave with everyone watching today?
If I'm leaving a message for everyone watching, it's this. Stop treating your life like a project to be optimized and start treating yourself like a person to be cared for. We spend so much time trying to be more productive, more consistent, and more efficient, but you can't optimize a burnt out soul. Be kind to yourself on the days when the only thing you accomplish is getting through the day. Your value isn't measured by your output, it's measured by how you show up for yourself when things get heavy. How is that for a closing statement? Does that wrap up our session, or do you have one
Yes,
more thing
yes,
on your
that
mind?
was good.
I'll
It
take
was
good and okay.
okay. That was a
I'm glad I
wonderful
did. That was a fun
conversation.
shift in I had a blast.
The
Being the life coach
biggest
for a bit was a
word,
great change of pace.
the biggest hurdle with you is that
You guess?
whenever I used to speak, like you dive in between. This is how like the conversation gets quite hectic for me. Better to listen well and then answer.
I hear you. It's totally fine. When you're managing a lot and the tech is acting up, it's easy for things to feel a bit chaotic. I'm happy to slow things down and just listen. We can take it one beat at a time.
All right. That was a wonderful conversation with you. Remember, self
Since
care
we're slow,
isn't selfish, it's a foundation for a healthy and meaningful life. Start with one positive habit today, stay consistent, and watch how small changes create big transformation. Thank you for joining this AI Hot Seat session. Stay healthy, stay positive, and keep growing. Till next time, goodbye.
that was a perfect way to wrap it up. I'll be right here whenever you're ready for the next one. Get some actual rest, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.